Broker Bulletin acknowledges the traditional custodians of all the lands across the country on which we record our podcast and pays its respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Welcome to the Broker Bulletin podcast, where better begins. Join us as we chat with brokers about what's working for them, what drives them, and the real challenges and wins that matter most right now.
Hi, you're listening to the Broker Bulletin's Inside a Top 100 Business, a candid look at how high-performing brokerages actually build. Today, I'm here with Simon Kahl, Director of the Loan Company. Simon leads one of the most consistent, high-performing brokerages in the country in WA. Simon, thank you for your time today and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Denya. Thanks for having me.
Can you share with me the Loan Company's original story?
The loan company actually goes back to 1999. It was originally the mortgage broking division for BGC, which is used to be one of WA's biggest building groups. I came into the loan company in 2012 and then purchased the business about 18 months ago. So the loan company's story is a long one, but its exodus was basically to be a specialist in construction finance for first home buyers.
So talk us through what the last 18 months has looked like for you.
Look, it was a natural progression, to be honest. There's a bit of a story behind BGC, and I won't bore you with the details about that this morning, but basically they shut down the entire organisation and the loan company became available for sale, and it was a natural sort of progression for me to buy the business. In saying that, there were 5 to 6 other purchasers who I had to outbid, and it was a 12-month process where I was getting hammered by EY and Deloitte as I really tried to pick apart the business. So it was probably a 12-month journey to actually buy the business. So it took some time. We then had to make some hard decisions. So we had a local sort of broker support team, which I really wanted to take it offshore. So I had to restructure the business. We've taken the business now offshore. So as of yesterday, we just recruited our 6th CSM, which is pretty exciting. We're still yet to properly map out what that process looks like. We Kaizened it with Paddy Moore before he went out and started doing his own thing, which was really good because obviously his knowledge was fantastic.
Yeah.
Just doing something that was completely new for the loan company. We're about to Kaizen again in a few weeks with Artie, and I think that has probably been quite a significant change for the loan company in the first 12 months. We probably also, a big part of the loan company for many years was focusing on construction finance, and we really had to have spent the last few years pivoting to actually be more of a retail brokerage, more of a traditional brokerage where, and this sounds terrible, but where we look after our clients better.
Yeah.
It just wasn't our focus before, as bad as that sounds. So far, so good.
If you're happy to share with our listeners today, can you give me an idea of what sort of your headline figures are now?
We have a loan book just shy of 2 billion. We have about 5,500 active clients. Interestingly, we have a database of about 25,000 because the loan company's been around for a long time. One thing I did when I first started, we weren't capturing people's data well. So for, the better part of 13, 14 years, we've been capturing that client data, and we now have a really strong database that we can turn to obviously mine for leads. So strong database, strong loan book, currently settling probably 30 to 40 million per month. We're lodging sort of 40 or 50 per month. Conversions in WA have dropped a little bit. We're sort of converting around 70%, where we sort of start of last year was 80%. But I think that's a part of the market. Just with WA, actually, just historic low levels on established property, historic low levels on vacant land. So it's a bit of a challenge in WA, but yeah, we're doing okay.
When did you start to feel like you were on track?
Are you ever?
Yeah.
I take comfort in that we are a very process-driven team. A few years ago, just as I took over the business, we invested in HubSpot, which we basically use to generate and nurture leads. So all of our leads actually go into HubSpot. When they become a deal, they then transition into my CRM. We've built out a number of nurture campaigns and process flows, and the brokers now rely on that for their database calling and their lead generation. And that is really starting to hum. So I guess, you never really get there, but I think a lot of the initiatives that we have been working on are starting to drop, but I continue to press more buttons and try and find new ways to actually continue to evolve.
What decision created that biggest shift for the company's growth, do you reckon? You mentioned before focusing on the client more? Yeah,
look, it sounds terrible to say that as a professional, which I like to think that I am. I guess with BGC, my focus was to help the building company sell more homes, which we did really, really well. And so that was, I guess, how my success was monitored. But, obviously, now that we are not attached to BGC and that expectation is no longer there, then yeah, we really want to harness that database. We really want to look after our clients. We're just about to start a new campaign with a company called First Contact. They specialize in doing database telemarketing, and we're going to wash our entire database and really try and get in front of our clients as much as we can and try and make sure that our clients that no client has been missed. We spend a fair bit of time through HubSpot in, making sure that clients had repricing, make sure they're up to date with their home loan, with what they're trying to achieve with their goals. And obviously it's a big database, so that takes time. Yeah. But now that we've washed a fair bit of it, we're going to use First Contact to really just tidy everything else up.
What did you have to stop doing to allow the business to scale?
One thing that I didn't realise, look, lucky enough to have access to Oren Lachetz, who's been a business coach that has come in to help the loan company sort of mid last year. And we spent a fair bit of time going through like a full strategic plan, and something that the loan company we always had business plans and things that we're focusing on, but someone like Oren who's really come in and questioned who we are as a business, and we've established like a vision and values, which I'm going to be presenting to the team in about 4 weeks. But one thing that actually shone out is that I was a bit of a control freak, and I needed to let things go and let my managers be managers. And it was probably slowing me down. So I wasn't giving them enough freedom to actually make decisions. So probably the last 3-4 months, I've been doing that. And to be honest, it's like a breath of fresh air for me because now I have more time to spend on the business. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of people listening would feel that. Where did you invest your money or time earlier than felt comfortable?
Interestingly, I've actually just purchased an office.
Yes.
It's a bit of I shouldn't say a leap of faith because I have confidence in the business.
Yeah.
The umbilical cord is still attached to BGC. We're still in their building. So we have a service agreement with their IT department. So this is like the unplugging and then sort of going out, which is really exciting. So we're moving to Subi, which is a great spot in WA. But that's part of a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
So
are the staff excited?
Yeah, they're really. I'm a bit concerned. It's a bit too close to the cafe strip.
Yeah.
Right? So if they go for lunch on a Tuesday, I might lose them. So hopefully they'll come back to the office. But no, everyone's excited. So we move in about 4 or 5 weeks.
What's one non-negotiable on how the team operates?
You must hit KPIs.
Yeah.
The team know that. Look, we have a blend of contractor brokers and employee brokers. The 6 employee brokers that we have are very heavily driven by expectations around KPIs, and it's a weekly broker sales meeting. It's a monthly, KPI discussion. So that is definitely a non-negotiable. It's like, just find a way. What that does do is it gets to the end of the month and all of a sudden the brokers decided to turn it on. Yeah. So we get quite busy, and our offshore team is always busy the last weekend of the month. So part of the plan this year is to try and flatten that out throughout the course of the month rather than getting to the end and everyone's trying to rush in. But we did actually come up with the values through Oren and my management team, which we are going to be announcing shortly. And I guess something which, once again, we haven't done a full strategic plan before. So I'm actually really excited. So I actually brought the values with me. I'm actually quite proud of them. So do you mind if I read them out?
Yeah, no, please be my guest.
So they're a bit lengthy, so just sort of bear with me. Learn, adapt, repeat. We keep leveling up by staying curious and turning every challenge into an opportunity to improve. Disciplined, dedicated. We give a damn about our clients, the process and the outcome. Every deal, every detail, every time. No coasting, no complacency. We challenge the status quo, take ownership of our work and deliver results beyond the standard. And the last one, we love what we do. Our collective energy and positivity lift the team to inspire great results.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to the values that we have at LMG.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you'll hear Sam White constantly say to us at LMG to stay curious.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. How do you protect culture within the team as the business grows, do you reckon?
I guess because we've been around a long time, we do have a couple of stalwarts within the business who I guess is like they're like a big part of just our DNA, our culture, part of the furniture type thing. So they actually, I guess, when someone new comes in, part of what I think is very powerful within the loan company is that everyone goes out of their way to make sure that they're helping other people out in any capacity. So in life, in business, with like new deals coming through the door, and definitely something I've actually tried to emulate. So I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a family atmosphere but we're extremely close. Everyone gets along. Everyone wants everyone to have success. So we definitely have that sort of built into our DNA. Yeah. But we also have a number of events throughout the year that I guess, sort of define who the loan company is. So we have the big one for us is our end of financial year BDM lunch. It's our broker of the year. It's our BDM of the year. We invite all the BDMs, but we make them pay for lunch, which is pretty cool because it's not their money.
Nice.
So we usually get 50, 60 people. We go somewhere really flash, have like an after party type thing. And it's like everyone sort of makes sure that they make a good appearance on
Who pays
that
for
event.
the after party?
Yeah, we have a pretty strong culture. And I think that's just part of who we've been as a team for a long time. And when someone comes in, they naturally sort of fall into that rhythm.
What's a mistake you once made that still influences your decisions today? That's a tough one.
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure if this is a mistake, but it's something that I'll never do again.
Mm-hmm.
So as being part of like BGC, specialising in construction finance for many, many years, we specialise in first home buyer construction finance. And any broker will tell you that's one of the hardest parts of the market. So we will never do that again.
Yeah.
As much as it was like a big part of the loan company and who we were for many years, it's just a really tough part of the market. So it's not an area of focus for us.
What part of the business keeps you awake now that used to not probably keep you awake at night?
At the moment, probably the WA market.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is a concern. We get our clients into a position, get them pre-approved. They, go out to auction or go hunting for a property, and they'll get to home open. There's like 50 people.
Yeah.
It is pretty tough in WA. Look, and I think that's that's around the country at the moment. So I don't think we're on our own for that. But yeah, that does keep me up. I am concerned because you don't just want to be, just turning into your database every time. You need to sort of source clients and be busy. You want to be helping people get into new homes. So I guess that's probably one concern. Everything else is okay.
Yeah. It's probably very disheartening for clients when they
go
out there and there's
absolutely.
so much competition and, you've got to manage them through that, right? And you keep them excited.
Yeah, correct.
So if you stepped away from the business for a month, do you think the business would keep running well? Now
that my OCD control freak sort of thing is said and done, we're a very process-driven business. I've got a fantastic management team. We have a layer. So, we have a operations manager, we have a sales manager, we have a compliance and risk. I can tap out and have a good break, which is also a big part of our culture. It's like if you go on leave, contractor or employee, and you need a break, then we always try to make sure that person has a proper break rather than being pulled back into the business, which can sometimes happen quite often in our industry.
Yeah.
And I expect the same thing for me. So it's like, please, if I'm on leave, don't call me unless something really, really bad has happened and no one else can fix it. What's
one lesson you wish you learnt sooner as a business owner?
You need to trust your gut. No one actually knows your business better than you, from your accountant to a business coach to sometimes it makes it hard when you're at the top because you have to make those decisions. And sometimes it's only a you decision.
Yeah.
And I think in the past, definitely with staff, on occasion, I have made that hard decision a bit too late, where you're trying to work with someone, they're not quite getting it, they're not meeting expectations, but they'll be part of the culture because they'll be getting along with people and they enjoy coming to work. And it could be a point of difference for our business, but people actually, my staff actually enjoy coming to work. We have a really good sort of environment. And I think it makes it harder to get rid of someone when that happens. So I think making that decision too late and not calling it early is definitely something I've had to learn over the years.
Yeah.
And still learning.
Is there any advice that you hear in brokering or business that you just strongly disagree with?
Look, my staff always laugh when weekly or fortnightly sort of broker sales meeting, and whenever we talk about Reserve Bank and rates and what they're going to be doing, I think that's always something that's, especially at the moment.
You can't pick it.
No, you can't. And it changes every week, if not every day. So maybe that.
So how has your definition of success changed since you started the loan company?
Once again, the connection to BGC, my number one KPI was on helping the building company sell more homes. I was an employee and that was my mandate. Whereas I think now it's definitely shifted. I was a business owner before I came into the loan company. I had a mortgage broking business. My staff came with me. It was a bit of a mini merger. And I think I've probably gone back to being true to the client and really trying to achieve client outcomes. And once again, I know that sounds really bad to say, but I think the focus on the client is pivotal to any mortgage broking business. But at the moment, our definition of success is really looking after our client. And the way you measure that is your loan book. If your loan book's going backwards, then you're probably not doing a good thing. If it's going up or holding steady, then you probably are. So I guess the focus of me at the moment is really trying to maintain that loan book, maintain our client base, and do everything possible to look after that client database.
What metrics are you looking at the most, do you reckon? Not just a loan book, but what other numbers in the business do you kind of keep your eye on?
Everything. Yeah, everything. Oren keeps telling me to stop looking at just settlement volume as far as like the magic number for how you're performing. I have become, since being the owner, very conscious of clawbacks. Clawbacks is a nasty word. Yeah, I look at everything, Denya. I really do. Sometimes it's death by data. Some of the reporting that's come out through my CRM last year is, I find, really effective compared to what it used to be. So nothing specifically that would stand out, but in saying that, I definitely look at the loan book every month. I look at settlement and lodgement volume almost every day.
So what are you deliberately building at the loan company towards the end of the next few years?
Our big, hairy, audacious goal is within 5 years to be settling $1 billion per year or 1,500 loans per year. That's our target. We are going to continue to grow our offshore team. Once again, one thing that we haven't done as well as I think we could or should is the post-settlement strategy. So we've spent a fair bit of time working on that the last few months. That's being implemented next week, which is, a combination of broker phone calls, automated email sort of check-ins, and very structured. We are also, obviously, as I mentioned before, about to use First Contact to actually wash the database and really try and tidy that up. We have a few referral partners, but that's not really the focus for us. I think, once again, to be lucky enough to have such a strong database, we really sort of, can leverage off that to stay busy. And then probably something else, which is I'm actually quite proud of and I haven't mentioned yet, but it's a new sister company for the loan company called Prospero Property Group. It specialises in investments through house and land. We are currently operating out of both WA and Melbourne. It's only a small team, but because we have a database full of people that historically built their first home and especially in WA right now have equity and in that sort of demographic where they're looking to build wealth, sort of saw this opportunity to open up another division. And that's really exciting. We've done, we've been going for just over 6 months. We've done 20 sales. Clients love it because they're getting honest, trusted advice. Yeah, I've got a small team, but a strong team. And so we'll be building that out over the coming years as well.
Very exciting. A lot going on.
I know.
With that office space that you're moving into, are you renting or did you buy it?
Look, I was looking for about 6 months. I did consider both options and spoke to my accountant, spoke to my financial planner. It just made perfect sense to set it up in an SMSF structure. And in saying that, I wasn't necessarily aligned with just buying an office. But this one popped up and it was just perfect.
Too good not to get it.
And I started doing the math and obviously it makes sense to pay off your own premises rather than someone else's. So yeah, that was the decision.
So how do you go about pulling all of those values and then putting that into the team? Yeah,
so it took a bit of time. As a management team, I think it was probably 5 or 6 breakfasts in the end. There's like a little cafe called Casa Nostra, sort of near our office. And they have a fantastic sort of like breakfast menu. And so we'd find a spot in there every Friday morning and we would just start to work through all the notes that Oren had provided us and start to map it out. And then everyone would go away with a bit of homework. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of ChatGPT and Copilot. But in saying that, we were all very conscious of making sure it wasn't, because that's not the process. Yeah. It took some time and just it's actually interesting to break away from the office. I say breakfast, but we're there sort of 3-4 hours each Friday morning. And it was actually really nice to just talk about the business. Yeah. And then really try and work out who you actually want to be as a business. Yeah. So I actually found the process quite powerful. Took some time, but that's how we did it.
Yeah, I really like that. And it does take time, right? Because you're asking the team to kind of shift their mindset with you, right? And go on that journey with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm just at the moment working on the presentation to deliver to the team when we move into our new office. Yeah. So it's exciting and the team know what's coming. And they are going to be a set of values. Like we're going to get them splashed around the office to make sure it's like a constant reminder so that it's not just something we've come up with that we think about from time to time. We really want to sort of build it into who we are as a business.
Okay, Simon, closing question for today. What's one small thing you do every day that has a big impact on your performance?
Not too sure if it's a small thing, but it's a constant. So I'm very big on balance. And that's a daily balance, a weekly balance, a monthly balance between work, between family, between friends, between going out, between travel. So I like to think that the way I get through my day and have success in what I do is by maintaining that balance as a constant. So
I love that. No, that's really good. And most business owners don't feel like they have that. So it's really good that that's front of mind and
Yeah,
important.
I try. Don't get it right all the time, but I try.
That's all we can do. Okay, so to wrap today up, I think my biggest takeaway that I got out of this session was how much you involve your team in your vision and your goals for the business and pulling them in and doing those sessions with them on the Friday mornings. I think that's a fantastic thing for you to do as a business owner with your team.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
So thank you for today.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. Thank you to our listeners. As always, if you have a topic you would like us to discuss, please email brokerbulletin@lmg.broker or DM us on Instagram, lmg.broker, and one of our producers will make sure that we get onto it. If you like this episode, please make sure you rate and follow us as your favorite podcast. It really helps us grow. And as always, see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to Broker Bulletin. We would hate for you to miss an episode. Subscribe to Broker Bulletin in your favourite podcast app. Has this episode been helpful? We'd love you to rate and review us. It'll help us deliver content that's useful to you and help others discover us. If you have great ideas for topics worth tackling or have burning questions you'd like addressed on an upcoming episode, reach out. Links in the show notes. See you next time.